Standing her ground, UN Ambassador Nikki Haley making it clear that while the United States desires a solution to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, it is up to the Palestinians themselves to make peace with difficult choices ahead of them. Take a listen.
I will not shut up. Rather, I will respectfully speak some hard truths. There's the path of absolutist demands, hateful rhetoric, and incitement to violence. That path has led and will continue to lead to nothing but hardship for the Palestinian people.
Here now is Brent Gleeson, a former Navy SEAL and author of Talking Point, a Navy SEAL's 10 fail-safe principles for leading through change. Brent, it appears we're on the cusp of change here. We have been taking crap from the Palestinian leadership, not the people. The Palestinian leadership have been taking all this money from us for decades, not giving much of it out, distributing much of it to the people, living in their huge houses up on a hill. I've seen where they live. It's extraordinary. And then coming out and doing nothing to help U.S. interests in the region. But it looks like we're not going to take it anymore.
Well, of course, and I think that based on the comments made today, which has fueled further fire both between Palestine, Israel, and the international community as a whole, is saying, yes, we want to come sit down at a mid-year conference and start having some actual peace talks, yet at the same time, they no longer want the United States as the lead negotiator and want to lean more on the UN to come step in, which, of course, Israel is not happy about. They feel that there's some non-biased feelings towards them.
Well, the UN has, just as long as the Palestinian Authority has been around, the UN has been essentially their mouthpiece, their PR machine for the Palestinian Authority. They accompany them in their lies about what they have done and what they have not done.
Yeah,
so that's not much. Now, the president himself, in sort of echoing what Nikki Haley said, tweeted out about a month ago, he said, we pay the Palestinians hundreds of millions of dollars a year, get no appreciation or respect. They don't even want to negotiate a long overdue peace treaty with Israel. We've taken Jerusalem, the toughest part of the negotiation, off the table, but Israel, for that, would have had to pay more. But with the Palestinians no longer willing to talk peace, why should we make any of these massive future payments to them? I'm wondering, given the frankness of that kind of talk, whether anybody can come out against that in the United States.
Well, and I think the position of the White House is that we're not going to take it anymore, and as opposed to, you know, the old philosophy of doing the same thing, expecting a different result is the definition of insanity. It's time to actually take action and take a hard stance against their position and actually try and make something happen.
Now, one does also get the sense that it's not just us speaking in the wilderness. That is, the Arab nations with which we are making a lot of progress. The president, one of his first, I think it was his first trip, was to Saudi Arabia, where he got together this coalition of Arab nations who were against terrorism, like we'd never seen a coalition like that before. They, I would assume, have seen the same kind of hanky-panky the Palestinians are up to that the president has seen. I think they're losing their long-term friendship with the Palestinian leadership as well.
Well, I would agree, and having been a SEAL and spent a lot of time in the Middle East, fairly well versed on the complexities of the things in these regions, but also starting to see some significant progress with those efforts. It's very frustrating, of course, from our standpoint, that there's a continued stalemate, nothing's changed, nothing's happening, and now they're saying, you know, Palestine is saying, you know, we essentially want to have peace talks, and then storming out of the room. Their actions don't exactly align with what they say they want.
And, you know, the service people who work so hard for this country, put their lives on the line for this country, doing the work that you did in the Middle East, you must get frustrated when you see that we are supposedly allied with people who are lying to us, who are taking our money and working against our interests.
Of course. Of course, it's very frustrating, especially since all the time and resources and sacrifices that the American families and our servicemen and women have faced to see that these apparent allies that we have are not actually working with us, but in point of fact, working against us, to not find a real resolution. Your
book is called Talking Point, a Navy SEAL's 10 fail-safe principles for leading through change. Brent Gleeson, good to see you.
Thank you so much. Good to see you.
Appreciate it.